Today we are at Pinetum Gardens, which is quite a small garden just outside, well, just in St Austell, which is not too far from where we live, and it's very much a hidden secret gardens, and we're going to have a little explore. So I'm Jill, behind the camera is Roger, and we are Which Way Now? So we've chosen this garden today because, well, actually we're going to tell you the truth, which is that originally we were going to go for a bike ride today. We were going to do a coast-to-coast cycle route. But when we got up, it was absolutely freezing. We're in the middle of a cold snap. It's January. It's very chilly. And actually it feels like, according to the forecast, it feels like -10 when you're in the wind. So we decided that maybe a bike ride wasn't quite the right thing to do. So instead we're at Pinetum Gardens, which is what I said. And we're just going to explore a little bit of what's on offer. And now we're in the Japanese garden. Obviously it is January, so there's not many flowers in bloom or anything like that, but it is beautifully quiet and peaceful here today, and we're going to have a little explore and see what there is on offer. So it's £16 each to get in here, but we are local pass holders, which basically means for that price that we can get in all year for that price, which is great. And I'm just sitting here admiring this fantastic view. Yes, you can see the edge of St Austell, but actually mostly you can see green fields, you can see down to the lake, and you can see over the little pond of the Japanese garden here. It is absolutely beautiful, and the sun is shining, so there you go. This interesting thing, this pond here as part of the Japanese garden, which does actually have slightly flowing water because it comes in at that end, comes out to that end, has ice on it near to that far side where it's not flowing quite so much. It is cold today. I think I've got on just about every layer I possess, and it is very, very chilly. And this is Cornwall, so goodness knows what it's like in the rest of the country. So in Pinetum Gardens, there are lots of different separate areas. So we saw the Japanese garden, and this is the lake. There's about 10 or 11 different separate areas in here. And this lake is quite interesting because we stopped just up the grass there, and the Canada geese all started to walk towards us, asking for food. But there you go. And Pinetum Gardens is built over 30 acres, or designed over 30 acres over the last 40 years or so, by people called Ray and Shirley Clemmo, and she received an MBE for her work on the gardens. And it's got over 600 different varieties of plants. And one of the things that makes this a special place is that most of the plants are actually labelled, which is great. And this lake is absolutely stunning in this glorious morning winter light. Gorgeous. Quite interesting as well. We came in June with my sister. That was the first time we ever came here, and it looks very different now, understandably, in the winter, but I actually think I almost prefer it because the shadows and things are just beautiful today. So there's also around the garden various bits like this that you can climb if you're either a child or feeling quite childlike. This is very wobbly, I think it's fair to say. Not sure I can get much higher up either, which is a bit of a worry, isn't it, really? Oh dear, no, I don't think I can. That was pathetic, I'm sorry. So I thought as I was rubbish at it, Roger should have a go. So he's going to try and climb up it instead. But it's quite hard. Very wide. Go on, Rog, go for it. Oh, he's got a good technique there, though, Rog, with the arms gripping underneath. You see, I think I was bit pathetic with my technique.
I think I'll do.
Well done. You got four rungs higher than I did. So today is the 8th, 9th of January, something like that. But there are some of the first signs of spring because these miniature daffodils are out already, which is absolutely fantastic. I've seen a few others when I've been travelling around Cornwall as well. So there is hope. The days are going to get longer and it is going to get warmer. This part of Pinetum is the winter garden. And when we came in here, we said, oh, maybe there'll be some flowers out. We've just seen the daffodils. There's also hellebores and camellias out here. Unfortunately, the thing with camellias is they do go very brown on the flowers when the frosts are out. So it's strange that they flower in the winter. But this is beautiful. And there's lots of other flowers I'm sure that we'll find on our way round. Something else in the winter garden here is this acer. It's not a flower, but these red bits on the end of the branches look amazing, especially against the blue sky. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and you can see that red top of the bush from quite a long way away in the garden as well. It's lovely. Another little camellia here, and it's amazing because we both were attracted by the red spots on the outside of the flowers. Inside the flowers are completely white, but outside they've kind of got red spots on, which is really pretty. So when they're in bud, they look just as pretty as when they're in bloom. So just come across this tree, which is an acer, with all these interesting little bits growing on, and I thought it was moss or something at first, but I don't really know what it is, but there's 3 of them here and they've all got it all over them. You can see the tiny little buds on the tree as well, but I'm really not sure what this is, but it's very pretty. And there's snowdrops underneath the tree as well, which is always nice. So when we came in here, they said that this is a 4-acre pine arboretum, which is basically where the name Pinetum came from, because it's a shortened version of pine arboretum, which is fair enough. And they were saying that this is like an amphitheatre whereby the bigger trees are planted further down the slope and the smaller trees are planted at the top of the slope here, so that you can see all of them. And it's also saying about forest bathing, which apparently if you come into a forest for 20 minutes every day, these trees give out something called phytonicides, which are meant to be helping to kill any bad diseases in your body, including cancer. So if you come and do this for 20 minutes every day, you stand a better chance of beating some of those diseases, apparently. So who knew that coming into a forest could be so good for your health? And the thing is, pine trees give out more phytonicides than anything else. So that's really cool. So this is the cottage garden, another one of the little gardens that they've got here at Pinetum. A beautiful fountain with the lovely benches and everything, and the tree behind it's absolutely gorgeous. And behind me over my shoulder you can see some of the lodges, because the other thing they've got here is actually places that you can stay. And it would be lovely to be here in the evenings when it's closed and there would only be you and the few other people who are staying in the lodges. That sounds like a great idea to me. I'm also just looking at the ice on that pond at the bottom there as well. There's quite a lot of ice around the edge there. I've just seen as well there's lots of ice this side, so I'm not surprised the ducks are that side. So this is the courtyard garden. It's looking a bit bare at this time of year because all these things behind me have been cut back for the spring, or for the winter I should say. But it's lovely in the spring, and there's a tea room behind Rog where you can come out in the spring and summer and have your tea and coffee sitting on the grass here. There's also a water garden that way, which they're currently rebuilding by the look of it. But it is lovely. I mean, this is definitely a much less well-known garden than Heligan or Eden or even Carhays, I would say. But it's beautiful, and if you find yourself here, then please do come and have a look, because it's not that expensive at £16 to get in, and there's a lot to see. I mean, we've been here an hour and a half, and we could easily spend another hour and a half here, I'd say. As I say, there's a little shop, there's a tea room, there's a plant sales place there as well. So yeah, we've really enjoyed our time here, despite the fact that it's absolutely freezing cold. We're going to go home now and have a nice hot chocolate to warm up a little bit, I think. So, if you've enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe and send us a comment.